What if life is just a simulation? Imagine waking up one day and realizing that everything around you, your friends, your memories, the sky, even your thoughts, is nothing more than lines of code in a vast computer program. The world you see, feel, and interact with is not real in the way you think, but rather a hyper-realistic simulation running inside an advanced civilization supercomputer. It sounds like science fiction, something out of the Matrix, yet it's a theory that serious scientists and philosophers have contemplated for decades. This concept, known as the simulation hypothesis, proposes that our entire universe could be an artificial construct, a simulated reality, created by an intelligent entity or an advanced civilization. While it may sound far-fetched at first, the idea has gained traction thanks to rapid advancements in computing, artificial intelligence, and our increasing understanding of how reality behaves at its most fundamental levels. Public figures like Elon Musk have stated their belief that the odds of us not being in a simulation are incredibly small, echoing the provocative work of philosopher Nick Bostrom, who formalized the theory in the early 2000s. But what would it truly mean if this theory were correct? Would it change how we view ourselves, our morals, or the meaning of life itself? In this article, we'll explore the origins of the simulation hypothesis, the scientific and philosophical arguments behind it, the cultural influence of the idea, and what it could mean for the future of human understanding. The origins of the simulation hypothesis. While the modern version of the simulation theory is grounded in digital and computational thinking, the core idea isn't new. Philosophers have debated the notion that reality might be an illusion for centuries. One of the earliest examples is Plato's allegory of the cave, written over 2,000 years ago. In this allegory, prisoners are chained inside a cave, only able to see shadows cast on a wall. These shadows, they believe, represent the entirety of reality. But when one prisoner escapes and sees the outside world, he realizes that the shadows were only a poor imitation of the actual world. Plato used this allegory to explore how perception can deceive us, and how enlightenment involves seeing beyond appearances. Centuries later, René Descartes asked whether we could trust our senses at all. In his famous thought experiment, he imagined an evil demon tricking him into believing in a false reality. Though his purpose was to establish a foundation for certainty, I think, therefore I am, he planted the seeds for doubting the very fabric of what we perceive. Fast forward to 2003, when Swedish philosopher Nick Bostrom published a groundbreaking paper titled, "Are You Living in a Computer Simulation?" He proposed what's now known as Bostrom's trilemma, which states that one of the following must be true. Advanced civilizations never reach the point where they can run ancestor simulations due to extinction or other limits. Advanced civilizations have no interest in running simulations of their ancestors. We are almost certainly living in a simulation. Bostrom argued that if technologically advanced civilizations can create incredibly realistic simulations, and if they want to, then it's likely they would run many. Statistically, that would mean most beings with experiences like ours would be simulated, not base reality beings. Scientific and technological arguments. At first glance, the simulation hypothesis may sound like pure speculation, but several scientific and technological trends make the idea at least plausible. 1. The rise of simulation technology. In just a few decades, we've gone from pixelated video games to incredibly lifelike virtual environments powered by AI and VR. Games like Red Dead Redemption 2, The Sims, and No Man's Sky create complex worlds where non-player characters have semi-realistic behaviors and personalities. If human technology continues to advance exponentially, it's conceivable that in the future we'll be able to create entire virtual worlds indistinguishable from reality, complete with conscious digital beings. 2. The nature of physical laws. Some physicists have noted that the universe behaves in strange, almost computational ways. For example, reality appears to be quantized, meaning there's a smallest possible unit of space and time, like pixels on a screen. The speed of light could act as a built-in refresh rate, a limit to how fast information can travel, similar to a computer's processing speed. Certain equations in quantum physics suggest the universe may be based on information processing. 3. Quantum weirdness. In quantum mechanics, particles don't appear to have definite states until they're observed, a phenomenon known as the observer effect. This has led some to speculate that the universe renders only what's being watched, similar to how video games conserve resources by rendering only the part of the world the player is currently in. 4. Glitches and anomalies. Some point to strange events like déjà vu, the Mandela effect, or bizarre coincidences as signs of possible glitches in the matrix. While most of these can be explained psychologically or statistically, they fuel the belief that something about reality feels off, as if it's being maintained artificially. Philosophical implications. Even if we can't prove we're living in a simulation, the idea carries profound philosophical weight. It raises questions about identity, morality, free will, and the meaning of life itself. 1. What is the self? If we are simulated beings, what does that say about our consciousness? Are we truly self-aware, or just complex algorithms mimicking self-awareness? Some argue that if a simulated mind can have experiences and emotions, it's no less real than a biological one. 2. Do we have free will? If we are programs running inside a simulation, are our choices predetermined? Or have the simulators given us enough autonomy to behave unpredictably? This question overlaps with debates in neuroscience and philosophy about whether free will exists at all, whether it is a simulation or not. 3. Ethics and responsibility. If simulations contain conscious beings, what ethical responsibilities do the creators have? Would turning off a simulation be equivalent to destroying a universe? This mirrors debates about the ethical treatment of AI and digital life forms in the real world. 4. Existential meaning. Does life lose its meaning if it's not real? Some say yes, if we're just part of a program, our lives are inherently meaningless. Others argue the opposite, that meaning is experienced, not given, and that joy, love, and pain are real to us regardless of their source. Cultural representations and influence. The simulation hypothesis has become a significant theme in modern pop culture. It's not just a philosophical idea, it's a narrative that fascinates, disturbs, and inspires. 1. The Matrix, 1999. Perhaps the most iconic exploration of simulated reality, The Matrix imagines a world where humanity is unknowingly trapped inside a digital illusion. It popularized terms like the red pill and made millions question whether their experiences were truly real. 2. Other media. TV shows like Black Mirror explore the dark side of advanced simulations, often blurring the line between virtual and real. Movies like Inception, Tron, and Ready Player One examine layers of reality and immersion. Even comedies like Rick and Morty and The Simpsons have tackled simulation theory with a mix of humor and horror. 3. Video games. Games aren't just tools for simulation, they're metaphors for simulated life. The idea of being a non-player character in someone else's game or discovering that your world is artificial resonates deeply in gaming communities. Counter-arguments and skepticism. Despite its appeal, the simulation hypothesis is not without criticism, and rightly so. 1. Unfalsifiability. One major criticism is that the theory is unfalsifiable. There's no way to test or disprove it. If a theory can't be tested, many scientists argue, it doesn't qualify as science. 2. No evidence. There's no direct evidence that we're living in a simulation. The computational nature of the universe could be a metaphor rather than a literal truth. Quantum oddities and physical constants don't require a simulation to make sense. 3. Philosophical overreach. Critics like physicist Sabine Hossenfelder and philosopher David Chalmers warn against turning the simulation hypothesis into a belief system. It's a valuable thought experiment, but without proof, it remains speculative. The idea that life might be a simulation is both thrilling and terrifying. It challenges our assumptions about reality, identity, and the meaning of life. Whether or not it's true, the simulation hypothesis forces us to look at the world with fresh eyes, to question what we take for granted, and to consider how our perceptions shape our experience of existence. But perhaps the most important takeaway is this. Simulated or not, our experiences feel real to us. We feel love, pain, joy, and curiosity. We build relationships, solve problems, and seek purpose. If those experiences are genuine, then so is our reality, regardless of whether it's a base reality or a meticulously crafted digital one. So the next time you catch yourself wondering if the universe is real or just a program, remember this. Even in a simulation, what you do still matters. Because meaning isn't something handed down by reality, it's something we create.